Being the strong one doesn't mean being the silent one. Stop being the strong one for a second. Because the truth is, some of you are not loyal. You're being used. And deep down you already know who I'm talking about. The person who drains you, then calls it love. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because once you see this pattern, you won't unsee it. Let's talk about the 5 types of people who slowly drain your life without you realizing it. Good. You want aggressive, unapologetic, no sugarcoating. Stop pretending you're just a good person. You're not just good. You're overextending. You're overgiving. And if you're honest with yourself, you're exhausted. Let me say something most people are too polite to admit. Some of the people in your life are draining you on purpose. Not accidentally, not unknowingly. They have learned your patterns. They have studied your softness. They know you won't say no. And because you don't, they keep taking. You call it loyalty, you call it love, you call it being strong. But strength without boundaries is self-destruction. How many times have you answered a call you didn't want to answer? How many times have you shown up with a smile while your own life was quietly falling apart? How many times have you sacrificed your peace to keep someone else comfortable? And here's the part that should make you angry. They expect it now. You trained them to expect it. Every time you ignored your own needs to rescue them, you sent a message. Every time you swallowed your frustration and said, "It's fine," you reinforced the idea that your limits don't matter. Every time you tolerated behavior that hurt you, you taught them that hurting you has no consequences. And now you're wondering why you feel invisible. You are not invisible. You are predictable. That's what happens when you give without discernment. People stop seeing you as a person. They start seeing you as a resource. Emotional support on demand, financial backup plan, therapist crisis manager, motivational speaker, the dependable one. But who carries you? Let's break this down clearly, because you need clarity, not comfort. The first type of person destroying your peace is the opportunistic dependent. This is the one who disappears when life is stable, but magically reappears when everything collapses. When they're happy, you don't exist. When they're struggling, you're their first call. Pay attention to the pattern. Not the words. The pattern. They don't check on your heart. They don't ask about your goals. They don't show curiosity about your growth. But the moment their relationship fails, their job falls apart, or their world shakes, suddenly you matter again, and you respond. Every single time. Why? Because you think showing up makes you valuable. You think being needed equals being loved. But being needed is not the same as being respected. Dependency can look like connection, but it is often just convenience dressed up as affection. If someone only remembers you in crisis, you are not a priority. You are an emergency service, and emergency services burn out. The second type is even more dangerous because they disguise stagnation as suffering. This person always has a problem. Always. There is never a season of growth, only a season of chaos. You listen to the same complaints year after year. Different details, same dysfunction. You give advice. Thoughtful advice. You invest mental energy trying to design an escape plan for their life. And what happens? They reject it. It's not that simple. You don't understand. That won't work for me. Weeks later, they come back with the same narrative. Same tears, same helpless tone. At some point, you have to accept a brutal truth. Some people are committed to their dysfunction. Their struggle gives them identity. Their chaos gives them attention. Their victimhood gives them insulation from responsibility. And every time you rush in to solve it, you become an accomplice in their stagnation. You are not helping. You are stabilizing their comfort zone. Growth requires discomfort. Change demands effort. And if someone consistently refuses both, your relentless support is not noble. it's enabling. The third type will test your sanity. This is the blame shifter. The one who seeks your guidance, follows your advice, and then crucifies you when the outcome isn't perfect. They ask, "What do you think I should do?" You respond with honesty. You analyze, you care. You speak from experience. They nod, they thank you, they move forward. Then something goes wrong. Suddenly, the narrative shifts. Now you're irresponsible. Now you misled them. Now they should have trusted their gut. And because you're introspective, because you actually care about integrity, you begin dissecting yourself. Did I say the wrong thing? Was I too confident? Did I push them? Stop. You are not responsible for someone else's execution of a decision. Advice is guidance, not control. They chose. They acted. They lived the consequences. But blame shifters cannot tolerate accountability. It threatens their ego. So they relocate fault onto the nearest compassionate person, you. If you stay in that cycle, you will slowly internalize guilt that doesn't belong to you. You will become hesitant. You will censor your wisdom. You will shrink your voice to avoid being blamed again. And that is exactly how strong people become small. The fourth type is subtle, dangerous in a quieter way. This is the covert competitor. They call themselves your friend. They sit at your table. They know your history. But internally, they measure themselves against you constantly. When you win, their smile is thin. When you share ambition, they respond with doubt disguised as realism. When you dream loudly, they lower the volume. They won't openly sabotage you. They're smarter than that. Instead, they chip at your confidence. Small comments, slight hesitations, strategic indifference. You sure that's realistic? That seems risky. Must be nice. You walk away from conversations with them feeling oddly deflated, not devastated, just diminished. That feeling is data. Envy doesn't always scream, sometimes it whispers. And when someone feels threatened by your growth, they will unconsciously attempt to contain it. You cannot rise around people who are silently hoping you plateau. The fifth type is the hardest to walk away from because this person is genuinely wounded. They have trauma. They have scars. Their pain is not fabricated, and you, with your enormous heart, decide to become their savior. You stay through every relapse, every destructive decision, every broken promise. You hold them together when they collapse. You rebuild their confidence. You finance their recovery. You defend them when others give up, but they don't change. They apologize, they cry. They promise evolution, and then they repeat the cycle. Here is the painful truth you've been avoiding. You cannot heal someone who is addicted to their own patterns. You cannot drag someone into transformation. You cannot carry a person into a future they refuse to build. And the longer you try, the more you deteriorate. Your sleep suffers. Your focus weakens. Your ambition dulls. Your emotional stability fractures. You begin to revolve around their instability. That is not love. That is self-erasure. Let me be aggressive for a moment. Because you need aggression right now. You are not a rehabilitation center. You are not a 24-hour emotional hotline. You are not responsible for repairing every broken person who enters your life. You are responsible for protecting your sanity. Some of you are so afraid of being called selfish that you tolerate blatant disrespect. You would rather be overburdened than misunderstood. You would rather be drained than disliked. And manipulators sense that instantly. They test your limits with small requests. When you comply, they escalate. When you stay silent, they expand. When you forgive, they repeat. This isn't coincidence, it's conditioning. If you never enforce consequences, people will assume there are none. Read that again. If you never enforce consequences, people will assume there are none. And without consequences, behavior never improves. You don't need to scream. You don't need dramatic exits. But you do need boundaries that are firm enough to be felt. Stop answering immediately. Stop over-explaining. Stop volunteering solutions to problems that aren't yours. Stop financing dysfunction. Stop tolerating subtle disrespect. Watch what happens. Some people will adjust. Those are the ones worth keeping. Others will distance themselves because the benefits disappeared. Let them go. If someone only values you for what you provide, they will resent you the moment you reduce supply. That resentment is not your guilt to carry. Understand something powerful: access to you is a privilege, not a right. Your time is finite. Your emotional capacity is finite. Your energy is sacred. And every misdirected investment delays your own progress. Imagine what would happen if you redirected even half the energy you pour into fixing others back into your own growth. Your health would improve. Your focus would sharpen. Your confidence would stabilize. Your opportunities would expand. But you can't build a powerful life while constantly managing weak boundaries. This is the shift. You stop auditioning for acceptance. You stop proving your worth through sacrifice. You stop equating exhaustion with virtue. You become selective. And selective people are respected, not because they are harsh, but because they are clear. Clarity intimidates manipulators. It frustrates users. It exposes competitors. It challenges the chronically dependent. Good, let it. Because the moment you decide that your peace is non-negotiable, everything changes. The relationships that survive will become healthier. The ones that collapse were never stable to begin with. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. You will question yourself. You will feel guilt. That's normal. When you break old patterns, your nervous system panics. But discomfort is not danger. It is growth. You have spent enough years being everyone's safety net. It's time to become your own foundation. And if someone cannot handle the version of you that has boundaries, discipline, and self-respect, they were never attached to you. They were attached to your convenience. This is where it starts. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with a decision. A decision that you are no longer available for dynamics that drain you. A decision that your empathy will no longer be exploited. A decision that your kindness will be paired with strength. Because kindness without strength is vulnerability to predators. And you are done being prey. Now we move deeper. Still aggressive. Still direct. No soft language. Here's what nobody tells you after you realize you're being used. The moment you change, people will get uncomfortable. Not because you're wrong, but because you're no longer predictable. When you stop replying instantly, they'll notice. When you stop offering free emotional labor, they'll question it. When you start saying, "I can't," instead of, "I'll handle it," they'll feel it. And some of them will try to pull you back. They'll call you distant. They'll call you selfish. They'll say, "You've changed?" Or yes, that's the point. Growth always feels like betrayal to people who benefited from your old version. You have to understand something critical. When you shift from overgiving to balanced, the dynamic exposes itself. Healthy people adjust. Unhealthy people react. Watch the reaction carefully. That reaction tells you everything. Now let's talk about why this has been so hard for you. You weren't born overextending. You learned it. Maybe you grew up being praised for being the responsible one, the mature one, the helper. Maybe love felt conditional. You received approval when you performed, when you solved, when you sacrificed. So now, as an adult, your nervous system equates usefulness with worth. If you're not helping, you feel guilty. If you're not fixing, you feel anxious. If you're not available, you feel like you're failing. That's not kindness. That's conditioning. And conditioning can be unlearned. But first, you need to detach your identity from being the strong one. Because let's be honest, being the strong one has become your brand. People introduce you as dependable, reliable, solid, but inside, you're tired. You want someone to ask how you're really doing, and actually wait for the answer. You want to be supported without having to collapse first. You want to be chosen, not just needed. Here's the uncomfortable truth: if you never require support, people assume you don't need it. You train them to believe you're fine, so they treat you like you're fine. You smile through stress. You downplay your struggles. You say, "I've got it," even when you don't. And then you resent people for not noticing. But you hid it. Strength is not pretending you don't have needs. Strength is expressing them without apology. Let's get practical now. Rebuilding your power starts with 3 shifts. First shift: delay your response. You don't owe immediate access to anyone. When someone reaches out in chaos, pause, not to manipulate, but to think. Ask yourself, do I actually have the capacity for this right now? If the answer is no, say no. Not with a paragraph. Not with a dramatic explanation. Just clarity. I can't take this on right now. That sentence will terrify you at first. Say it anyway. Second shift: stop over-explaining your boundaries. Over-explaining is a trauma response. It's your attempt to avoid rejection. You pile on reasons so the other person won't be upset. But confident people don't write essays to justify limits. No is a complete sentence. That doesn't work for me is enough. I'm not available for that is sufficient. The more you explain, the more negotiable you sound. And your boundaries are not negotiations. Third shift: observe who disappears. This part will hurt, but it will also free you. When you reduce access, some people will fade. They won't fight for the connection. They won't try to understand. They'll simply move towards someone more available. Let them. Because what you're losing isn't depth, it's dependency. And dependency is not love. Now let's talk about something deeper: resentment. You've been carrying quiet resentment for years. You feel it when your phone rings. You feel it when someone says, "Can I ask you for a favor?" You feel it when you see certain names pop up on your screen. That resentment is not because you're mean. It's because you've violated your own limits too many times. Resentment is self-betrayal stored in the body. Every time you said yes but meant no, it stacked. Every time you tolerated subtle disrespect, it accumulated. Every time you gave when you were empty, it registered. And now your body is tired of the pattern. Listen to that exhaustion. It's wisdom. You don't need to become cold. You don't need to cut everyone off dramatically. But you do need to audit your circle with brutal honesty. Ask yourself, who respects my time? Who reciprocates effort? Who checks on me without needing something? Who celebrates my wins without comparison? Who takes responsibility for their mistakes? Make a mental list. If someone consistently fails these standards, you don't need revenge. You need distance. Distance is powerful. It reveals truth. Some relationships only survive proximity. When you pull back, they collapse. That tells you the bond was convenience, not connection. Now let's address the fear. You're afraid that if you enforce boundaries, you'll end up alone. But look at your current situation. You're surrounded and still lonely. Quantity has never replaced quality. When you elevate your standards, your circle may shrink. Good. Tight circles are strong circles. You don't need 10 people draining you. You need 2 who genuinely stand with you. And here's something powerful. When you stop overgiving, you attract different people. People who respect strength. People who value balance. People who don't expect you to carry them. But they can't find you while you're buried under obligations to people who misuse you. Your energy introduces you before you speak. If your energy screams, "I'll tolerate anything," opportunists will approach. If your energy communicates, "I value myself," only aligned people stay. This is not about arrogance. It's about alignment. You cannot build a powerful future while being emotionally entangled in draining dynamics. Your focus fractures. Your discipline weakens. Your ambition shrinks to accommodate chaos. You have goals. You have potential. You have capacity that is currently being misallocated. Imagine redirecting that time into your health, your finances, your education, your craft, your peace. Imagine waking up without emotional debt. That's what boundaries buy you: freedom. Freedom to think clearly. Freedom to rest without guilt. Freedom to pursue without interruption. And here's the final shift in this part. Stop announcing your transformation. Move quietly. Don't post about cutting people off. Don't make dramatic speeches about boundaries. Just change behavior. Consistency is louder than confrontation. Reply slower. Decline more, invest selectively. Share less with those who misuse information. Watch how quickly dynamics rearrange. You will see who adapts. You will see who resists. You will see who is only present for the benefits. And through that process, your self-respect will grow. Because every time you enforce a boundary, you send yourself a powerful internal message. I matter. Not louder than everyone else. Not more important than everyone else. But equal. And if someone cannot handle equality, they were benefiting from imbalance. You are not here to be consumed. You are not here to be a constant rescue mission. You are not here to shrink so others feel comfortable. You are here to build, to evolve, to expand. And expansion requires subtraction. Some people will not come with you to the next level. Not because you hate them. Not because you're cruel. But because their version of you was smaller. And you are done being small. This is where the shift becomes permanent. Not when you understand the problem, but when you act differently despite the discomfort. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You need discipline. Discipline to protect your time. Discipline to guard your energy. Discipline to walk away from dynamics that no longer serve your growth. And once you master that, something incredible happens. You stop feeling drained. You start feeling deliberate, intentional, focused, powerful. And that version of you, that version doesn't beg for respect. It commands it, quietly. Good. This is where you stop reacting to people and start operating at a different level entirely. Here's what happens after you set boundaries consistently. Something shifts inside you. You stop feeling desperate for approval. You stop needing constant validation. You stop explaining yourself to people who were never trying to understand you in the first place. And when that happens, your presence changes. Not louder, not arrogant, just grounded. There's a certain energy that comes from someone who no longer tolerates nonsense. You can feel it when they walk into a room. They're calm, they're measured, they don't overtalk, they don't overshare, they don't overcommit. They choose. That's the word most people never master. Choose. Weak boundaries make you reactive. Strong boundaries make you selective. And selective people move differently. Let's talk about dominance, not loud dominance. Not ego. Not aggression for attention. I'm talking about internal dominance. The kind where your emotions don't get hijacked by someone else's chaos. The kind where guilt doesn't manipulate you. The kind where you can look at a situation and say, that's not aligned with me, and walk away without your heart racing. That level of control changes your entire life, because most people operate from emotional impulse. They say yes out of fear. They stay out of attachment. They tolerate out of insecurity. When you operate from discipline instead of emotion, you immediately separate yourself from the average mindset. And here's the truth. The world treats you based on the standards you enforce, not the standards you preach. You can talk about self-respect all day, but if you still entertain disrespect, your actions cancel your words. Consistency is what builds authority. Now let's go deeper. The reason people misused you before wasn't just because they were selfish. It was also because you radiated over-availability. You were too accessible, too quick, too open with your time, too generous with your energy. Scarcity creates value. That doesn't mean playing games. It means understanding that your time is a limited asset. When you treat it as unlimited, others will too. High-value individuals are not constantly reachable. They are not constantly explaining themselves. They are not constantly negotiating their boundaries. They are focused. Focus is intimidating. When you become deeply focused on your growth, your body, your mind, your craft, your finances, you naturally reduce tolerance for distractions disguised as relationships. And some people will feel that shift. They'll say you're different. You are. You're no longer feeding off being needed. You're building from being disciplined. Now let's talk about rebuilding your identity. For a long time, your identity was the helper, the fixer, the strong one, the dependable one. But who are you when you're not saving someone? That question scares a lot of people. Because when you remove the chaos around you, you're left with silence. And in that silence, you finally have to confront your own goals, your own potential, your own neglected ambitions. Many people overextend into others' lives because it distracts them from building their own. Helping feels productive. Fixing feels purposeful. Being needed feels important. But building yourself requires solitude. It requires discipline. It requires facing your limitations without applause. That's harder. But that's where power lies. When you stop pouring your energy into constant rescue missions, you suddenly have time. Time to train your body. Time to read. Time to build skills. Time to start that project you've been postponing. Time to sit alone and think clearly. And clarity is dangerous, in a good way. Because once you see your own potential clearly, you become less impressed by mediocrity around you. Your standards rise naturally. Conversations that once entertained you now feel shallow. Dynamics that once felt normal now feel draining. You don't judge. You just outgrow. Growth is quiet separation. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to criticize anyone. You simply stop fitting into spaces that require you to shrink. And here's where dominance becomes visible. You stop chasing. You don't chase friendships. You don't chase romantic attention. You don't chase approval. You don't chase opportunities that require you to beg. You position yourself. When you build competence, confidence follows. When confidence stabilizes, you stop accepting crumbs. Let's be real. A lot of your past tolerance came from fear of losing connection. Fear of being alone. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of not being enough. But once you start building yourself seriously, loneliness transforms into solitude. And solitude is power. In solitude, you sharpen your thinking. You analyze your patterns. You upgrade your habits. You become self-reliant. Self-reliant people are hard to manipulate, because manipulation works best on those who need something emotionally. If you need approval, flattery controls you. If you need connection, withdrawal controls you. If you need validation, criticism controls you. But when you validate yourself through discipline and growth, those tactics lose power. That's when people start respecting you differently. Not because you demand it, but because you no longer tolerate anything beneath your standards. Let's talk about communication at this level. When you speak, you're concise. You don't ramble to justify yourself. You don't argue to win. You state your position and observe the response. You don't react emotionally to bait. You don't defend against projections. You don't absorb blame that isn't yours. You've trained your nervous system to stay steady. That steadiness is authority. And authority changes dynamics instantly. The same people who once pushed your limits will start testing you less, because they sense resistance now. They sense structure. Structure commands respect. Now here's the final transformation in this stage. You stop trying to prove your worth through sacrifice. You understand that your value is not in how much you endure. It's in how well you build. You build your body, so you carry yourself differently. You build your mind, so your conversations carry weight. You build your finances, so you're not dependent. You build your discipline, so your confidence is earned, not faked. When your life is structured, you become less emotionally available for chaos. And chaos will look for easier targets. That's how you know you've elevated. The people who once drained you won't even attempt the same behavior, not because they changed, but because you did. Predatory dynamics require compliance, and you no longer comply. This is the stage where your circle becomes intentional. You don't keep people out of guilt. You keep them based on alignment. Do they respect time? Do they take responsibility? Do they grow? Do they reciprocate effort? Do they challenge you to improve? If the answer is consistently no, the distance becomes automatic. And something powerful happens when you surround yourself with aligned individuals. You rise faster. Because energy compounds. When you're around disciplined people, you become sharper. When you're around accountable people, you become stronger. When you're around ambitious people, you elevate. Environment is either fuel or friction. Choose fuel. Now understand this clearly. This journey is not about becoming cold. It's about becoming controlled. It's not about isolating yourself from the world. It's about refusing to be consumed by it. You can still be kind. You can still be generous. You can still support others. But now it comes from overflow, not obligation. That's the difference between weakness and power. Weakness gives to be accepted. Power gives because it chooses to. And when you reach that point, something shifts permanently. You no longer fear losing people. You fear losing yourself. That fear keeps you disciplined. Because you've felt what it's like to abandon your own peace for others. You've felt the exhaustion, the quiet resentment, the emotional burnout. You're not going back there. Not because you hate anyone, but because you respect yourself. And respect for yourself becomes the standard that governs every decision moving forward. Who you answer, who you invest in, who you open up to, who you build with, who you walk away from. You stop asking, do they like me? You start asking, do they align with me? That shift alone will transform your life. Because once alignment becomes the filter, chaos becomes rare. And in that clarity, you build something stable, something powerful, something intentional. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to announce strength. It's visible in your posture, in your tone, in your discipline, in your boundaries, in your silence. And from that place, nobody casually misses you, because they know, even without you saying it, that access to you is earned, not demanded, not assumed, earned. And that is dominance, quiet, controlled, unshakable. This is it. The moment where everything changes, if you let it. You've seen the people who drain you. You've learned how to stop being used. You've started elevating yourself to a level where boundaries, discipline, and intentionality govern your life. Now it's time to close the chapter on your old patterns and claim your authority. Understand this clearly: your energy is sacred. Your time is finite. Your attention is currency. Every second you spend overextending, overgiving, or tolerating someone else's chaos is a second stolen from building your empire. Your health, your skills, your vision, your peace. No more excuses. No more justifications. No more sacrificing yourself for people who would not do the same for you. That stops today. You are done being the backup plan, the emotional sponge, the always available option. You are done being invisible while everyone else gets the benefits of your energy. From this moment forward, you are selective. You are intentional. You respond with purpose. You invest in people who match your standards, not people who take advantage of your generosity. And here's the truth: when you do this, some people will leave. That's not loss. That's clarity. That's the universe separating the weak alignment from your powerful trajectory. Let them go. Let them fade. Let them struggle without you. Your job is not to fix the unfixable. Your job is to honor your growth, your peace, and your potential. You will feel guilt. You will feel fear. You will worry about being misunderstood. That is temporary. What is permanent is the freedom you gain when you stop living for the expectations, needs, and chaos of others. Your boundaries are not cruelty, they are respect. Your refusal to overextend is not arrogance, it is strength. Your choice to protect your energy is not selfish, it is survival. The kind that allows you to thrive at a level most people never reach. So today, I want you to make a vow. No longer will you allow opportunists, manipulators, blame shifters, covert competitors, or perpetual victims to define your life. No longer will you tolerate exhaustion disguised as loyalty. No longer will you give the best years of your life to people who cannot reciprocate. From this moment forward, you are unapologetically selective. You are disciplined. You are intentional. You are unshakable. Because the most important person you will ever commit to is yourself. Honor that, protect that, elevate that. And when you do, everything else, the right people, the right opportunities, the right outcomes, will align naturally. You've done enough giving. You've done enough sacrificing. You've done enough being the strong one for everyone else. Now, it's time to be the strong one for yourself. And once you do that, nobody, and I mean nobody, will be able to misuse you ever again.